Happy Sunday, everybody. I just want to take a quick minute and send a short note video out to everybody just to touch on a few things as we head into distance learning beginning tomorrow. I might get a little bit distracted here. I got Ryder and I got Lucky who have decided to join me out here for this super exciting video. And we know anytime you add pets to something, it makes it way better. To say that I'm proud of our ISD 192 community would be a gross understatement. From our community ed staff stepping up and continuing to take care of the emergency child care that we are required to provide has been outstanding. Our Chartwell staff stepping in and preparing meals for our families and making sure that they get delivered to those who need them. All the amazing video tributes that people have put out to their families and to their kiddos, and the parades that we've had going through our community it's so cool, and it makes me proud to say that I live in Farmington and I work in Farmington Area Public Schools. Just a couple of really quick updates. I did send out an email to everybody last week talking about, we'll start distance learning on the 30th. We're going to go through, May 4th, hopefully have kids back in our building on May 5th. We did update that distance learning schedule in our distance learning plan all the way through May 5th. So if you hadn't had a chance to see that, it has all the days marked out in there, the days that'll be flex days, the days that'll be check-in days. You will notice that we did put in on Tuesday, April 14th, a planning day. We want to get through these first couple of weeks, give people an opportunity to implement the plans that they put in place, get feedback from families, and then take a day of planning after those first 2 weeks, and then try to plan for the next 3 weeks. So we put that in there to be intentional about being able to reach out to families and respond to the feedback that we get. Again, thank you for all the work that people have put in the last 2 weeks. I know you were probably still a little bit nervous about trying to do something, plan for something, implement something, and support something that's never been done before. But what I can tell you is there's no district in the state of Minnesota that is better prepared or situated to begin this distance learning process. And if you don't remember anything else, take away these 4 things and we'll be good to go. Connection over content. Continue to reach out to families. Continue to strengthen those relationships that you've built throughout the year, that people have worked on during the planning week and during spring break. That's going to be the key to the success of distance learning. It isn't going to be about how much content our kiddos get. It's going to be that connection that families and students feel with our staff and with our buildings. So hopefully when we're able to welcome them back in, we can just welcome with open arms and then continue to move forward. Less is more. We've talked a lot about this, narrowing that curriculum, narrowing your focus for either your grade level or your class. And what are those handful of things that are essential for kids to work on during this time that they're out of the buildings? It can't be everything. We're going to have to not do some things, which is okay. And when our kids do come back into our buildings, we all understand that if that happens on May 5th, that they're not going to be where they would be on a typical May 5th. And again, we can evaluate where our kiddos are, and then we can develop a plan for that last month of school based on where they're at. Design in that flexibility. We put the schedule, kind of a district-wide schedule in our distance learning plan. I know that buildings, the middle schools have kind of mocked up a schedule with their A/B days, different times that kids could potentially be connected with teacher. The high school are looking at 1, 3, and 5 and 0, 2, and 4 on alternating days. Again, just remember that you need to design in flexibility into those, so if that doesn't work for a student or family, they can still access any of the resources or content that they may have missed. This COVID-19 virus is going to continue to impact our families in ways that we are not going to be able to understand or able to anticipate. So we just have to be mindful that what may work for a student or family one day, a day later, a week later, it may not work for them, and we'll have to respond accordingly. And then finally, monitor the things that you're doing, things that kids are working on, evaluate how well that's working in terms of students being able to engage in those learning activities, be able to access those resources, and then let's respond accordingly. We have worked really, really hard over the last 8 years around this idea of student-centered personalized learning. And people often think about those things as being instructional strategies. It's a mindset. And I've been so impressed with the mindset of our staff throughout our district over the last 2 weeks that I know that we're going to continue to get feedback from our families, from our students, and then we'll make the best decision that works for them. So hopefully you can enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Just got back from a run. It's not too bad outside, though it's a little bit windy. And then we'll jump right into that, those connections tomorrow of really reaching out to families and making sure that they can access the materials, that everything's going okay for them and they don't need anything, and try to really figure out up front how can we support families as we begin this distance learning. So I know it's a little bit of a time that maybe provides some anxiety to people, but as Barb Dufferin once said, or actually didn't once say, she often said it when she was in the district, it's going to be great. And I concur fully, because you know what? We are 192 and we'll get through this together. Thanks.